Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a card whose name I have to try really hard to get right. It is Birdkeeper. It is not Birdkeeper Toby, the lovely YouTubing man who, I'll be honest with you, there's a burgeoning bromance there. It's just Birdkeeper. It's just Birdkeeper. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this Birdkeeper supporter is really good. Shout out once again to the lovely Antoine Boulet, who has gone and provided our translation, because also a lovely, lovely dude. Now, this is a very strange supporter. And the thing is, it's not just a supporter, it also helps out with a bunch of bird Pokemon, thematically very appropriate. One of which, Swanna, we will be dealing with quite a bit in this video. But we'll start off with what the card actually does. It is a once per turn supporter, and it reads, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, draw 3 cards. So it is very literally a switch that also operates as a hop. And the thing is, right, Hop and how before it, just as supporter cards, are not particularly good. Draw 3 cards, you're in theme decks, a lot of newer players will use them because they're readily available and they're in all the theme decks, etc. They are fine, they're not terrible cards, but when you start putting them side by side with cards like Marnie and Cynthia and Professor's Research, they soon start looking, well, let's just say, inadequate. They're fine. But then again, if we have a look at switching supporter cards, then bearing in mind switch is an item card. It lets you switch to the bench. So you would think that maybe a supporter card that lets you switch as well just plain isn't good enough. Well, you'd be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Because you see, Mallow and Lana is a switch. Now, if you choose to discard 2 other cards from your hand, you may heal 120 damage from the Pokemon you just switched to the bench, and an awful lot of the time you're going to want to do that, especially when you're playing 2 and 3 prize Pokemon, and this stops them being KO'd and giving up 2 or 3 prizes, but we've all ended up using Mallow and Lana as a switch, and you know what? When you really need it, when you're having one of those turns where you just need to either get your active out of the active or one of your bench into the active, you rarely sit there going, oh no, this is terrible. You usually end up going, you know what? I'd rather not have just used this as just a switch, but at this precise moment, it saved my bacon. Thank you very much, Mallow and Lana. Similarly, Tate and Liza. Now, this is about to rotate out, but this has seen quite a bit of play. It is either a shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 5 cards, decent, but objectively just a weaker Cynthia, or it's a switch. And the reason you play Tate and Liza is, okay, it might not be as good as something like Cynthia, but at least it gives me the option to switch if I need to. And that's alright, ladies and gentlemen. That's fine, that's good, it works. This is a switch, but it also draws you 3 cards. And if you compare it to the other switching supporters, Tate and Liza makes you choose, this doesn't. Mallow and Lana is a switch plus healing, this is a switch plus draw 3 cards. I really like this as a supporter. No, it's not phenomenal draw power. I don't think anyone's arguing it is. If you just want to play it for the draw, no. No. Oh, actually, while we're here, Guzma. Guzma was another switching supporter. It was half gusting, half switching. Although, to be fair, that was not... It's not necessarily a great comparison because it came out as Lysander rotated and became the only good gusting we had. Though, to be fair, in Expanded, you do now have to choose between them because they're both legal. Point being, it's good. I really like this. Switching plus drawing, like I say, if you just want to be drawing cards, Marnie, Cynthia, Professor's Research, we have better options. But if you're looking for something to switch while drawing, this is good. Bearing in mind, one of the things that we're seeing post-rotation is that Jirachi is losing a skateboard. And Jirachi's ability, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a trainer card, put it in your hand. Jirachi's ability isn't any worse than it was before. It's still a phenomenal ability. The difference very simply is you don't have a skateboard. And when you don't have a skateboard, you're kind of in a little bit of trouble. So you're going to need a bunch of switching cards. And yeah, we've got Switch, and yeah, we've got Scoop Up Net. But this now just becomes one more option that we can put in, shall we say. But the thing is, this is only half the story about Birdkeeper. Birdkeeper also does another thing. I'm not going to go through all of these in this video because I do think they fit better into other videos, but I do want to shout out Swanna right now. Now, on a personal level, a new Swanna means a new ducklet. I love me some ducklet. And I'll tell you right now, every Swanna we have ever had has been terrible. We have had 6 different Swanna over the years. Since Black and White came out, we have had 6 different Swanna. And the best one of them was probably the one from Emerging Powers. 2 energy, 30 damage, flip a coin. If heads, you got immunity next turn. At least you could use stuff like double colorless energy and Victini, which were round about when this was out, to do 30 damage and get immunity 75% of the time. But let's be perfectly clear about this. This did not make it good. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It makes me sad on a personal level. But the fact of the matter is, we've never had a good Swanna. And I'll tell you now, this is the best Swanna we've ever had by a rather wide margin. I don't think that's saying much at all, but it is the best Swanna we've ever had. Now, it is a colourless Swanna, which is very interesting because it is also the first colourless Swanna we have ever had. Lots of superlatives coming around here. But it is the best one we've ever had, and it is the first colourless one that we've ever seen. Now, in terms of the basics here, it's fine, I suppose. It's alright. 110 HP on a stage 1 isn't particularly great, but it's not out and out embarrassing. Do not love 50 HP on the ducklet though. Boo! Retreat cost of 0 is really nice. Love free retreat. Resistance to fighting is nice to have. And the weakness to lightning isn't phenomenal. But then again, you got 110 HP, so I wouldn't worry too much about the weakness. Now, this has the ability that a bunch of the birds have in this set. And the ability is Flying Circus. If you play Birdkeeper from your hand this turn, ignore all energy costs for this Pokemon's attacks. Oh yeah, no, that's really good. It means that Swanna becomes a free attacker. This is nice. What does the attack do? Free colorless energy, 70 damage. You may discard a card from your hand. If you do, this attack does 140 damage. Well, it's discarding 1 card from your hand, right? That's really not a problem. We're all willing to discard 1 card from our hand to play Quick Ball at the moment, or to attach an Aurora energy, or to use Chinchino's ability, sometimes all in the same deck. So, yeah, we really are not worried about discarding a card from our hand. And to be fair, 140 for free energy is really quite nice when you bear in mind we can use triple acceleration energy because it's an evolved Pokemon that will fall off at the end of your turn. We can use twin energy because you're a non-GX, non-V. And with it being colorless energy, we can use any energy acceleration we like for instance, Welder. And if you want a pro tip, remember that powerful colorless energy I told you about yesterday? That lets you do an extra 20 damage for a colorless Pokemon. So this means you would then be hitting 160 damage and getting a one-hit KO on something like a Dedenne. Something to very much bear in mind. And even if you're using this attack for free, there's nothing to stop you using powerful colorless energy to add 20 damage and doing 160, treating it like a single energy attack. I kind of like Swanna. Now here's a really, really sad thing for me. Why does this have to be the first colourless Swanna we've ever had? 6 Swanna before today. All of them water. And we finally get one with a good attack. We finally get one that is actually worth playing. And it's a colourless Pokemon. If it was a water Pokemon, it would get a one-hit KO on Reshiram and Charizard. It would get a one-hit KO on Charizard and Braixen. and Victini V, and Ninetales. I could keep going, but you get the point. The point is there are good fire Pokemon around right now, all of which would go down in one hit to this Swanna if you hit for weakness, which you don't, because you're a colorless Pokemon rather than a water Pokemon. And you know that that's a deliberate choice, right? You know that the entire reason this is a colorless Pokemon is to stop you being able to get a one-hit KO for 0 energy on all of those Pokemon. If that was the case, I would be lording over Swanna as one of the very best cards in the set. Would that be an exaggeration? Maybe. But I certainly would be a gigantic fan of it. As a water Pokemon, love it, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely love it. As a colorless Pokemon, I'm going to need a little bit more convincing. Bear in mind, right, if you've played Birdkeeper from your hand during this turn, it's free. You are literally doing 140 damage for 0 energy. And 140 damage for 0 energy is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But is it good enough? Like, are you getting enough KOs with this? Are you KOing all the Pokemon that you really want to be KOing? Or actually, is it still just a little bit less? Like, it might be the very best Swanna we've ever seen, but is 140 damage actually enough? Yes, you'll get most of the relevant non-V Pokemon, non-GX, your single prize Pokemon, but I'm not actually sure you're getting enough Pokemon here to make it worth it. If that sounds a little bit mean. But still, it's a great new supporter. It switches and draws you free cards, and it lets Swanna do 140 for 0 energy. This is one to keep an eye on. It's not going to be a 4 in every deck. It's not going to replace Cynthia when she rotates, but it absolutely is going to see a lot of play. And keep an eye on Swanna, ladies and gentlemen. Although, come on, how annoying is it that Ditto Prism Star's gone and rotated as this is released? This would be a great surprise Pokemon to play if you were playing Ditto Prism Star. We're going to be giving Birdkeeper between 4 and 5 Wassies. I don't think it's an out-and-out phenomenal card. We don't give half Wassies, that will be barbaric. But I do think it is going to see a lot of play in a lot of different decks. So I've got to score it very highly. As for Swanna, we're giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. I wouldn't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. We did already say that. I love 140 for 0 energy. That sounds good. I love the best Swanna ever, which is true. But actually, I don't know how many people are actually going to play this, so I think that's a fair score. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about Birdkeeper and about Swanna, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.